Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is Motivation Monday, May 15th, and welcome to an all-new episode of Style by Stevie. As you guys can see, I am in full bloom today. I'm absolutely loving this dress, and I'm excited to be back with our very special guest today. Our very special guest today, Fashion Dolls, is an award-winning fashion stylist, and I'm super excited to have him here in the dollhouse. And I hope you guys all are doing wonderful as I am. The air conditioning is out, so if you guys hear something running in the background, that is my fan. I'm trying to keep cool. So we are going to do this amazing show for you guys today. I cannot miss it for today's special guest, and I'm super excited to have him here. He is a celebrity fashion stylist, an award-winning celebrity fashion stylist, and we're going to talk fashion, what he's been up to. So without further ado, I need you guys to share this live, let everyone know that we are on, and we're going to get this interview crack-a-lacking. All right, make sure you guys also go and subscribe to Style by Stevie Daytime on YouTube. We have a great show lined up for you guys today, so I hope you guys are all doing well. Let's do our mental health awareness check-in. How am I doing? I am doing excellent, and I hope you guys are doing excellent as I am too. I feel amazing, I look amazing, and mostly I've been taking time for myself, taking breaks. We have no air conditioning over here in the house. Like, the AC is out, so it is just barely blowing out anything. So right now I have my fan going. That's what you guys are hearing in the background, but I am good over here, trying to keep cool and give you guys some amazing content, because we're now about to be like in the summer months. It's already in the 80s outside, so you guys make sure that you're drinking water, staying hydrated, and more importantly, staying cool, because this heat wave for the summer is something else. It is going to be something. So I'm excited about today's guest. What is on the lineup for this week? Well, we have a girl talk. Friday, our girl Tina Marie is going to be joining us, and we're going to be dishing on our favorite spring fragrances. And you guys know that Bath and Body Works semi-annual sale starts June 3rd. So make sure you guys tune in this Friday. We're going to be dishing on some deets on how you can spend for semi-annual sale, and also how you can save and double up. All right? Definitely popsicles help a lot, and I've been eating a lot of ices, drinking a lot of water, staying up under the fan, keeping cool, just making sure that I keep my body temperature down, because people are passing out in this heat. It is something else. So make sure that you guys are maintaining everything. Hold on one sec, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see where our guest is for today. DQ, so that we can get this interview started. All right, so without further ado, let's welcome our incredibly talented, fabulous special guest, award-winning celebrity stylist, DQ Stylist. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the dollhouse. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It is such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank
Ladies and gentlemen, Stylesbydq is here so that we can dive right into this interview.
Okay, can you hear me good?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect, perfect. If you guys hear something running in the background, that is my fan. The AC is out. So you guys already know what we are going through over here, but we are going to get through this interview. So before we kick it off, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get your brand started, and what made you get into fashion?
Okay. Well, I started in 2016 doing fashion shows here in my city. I started working in the back of the house. Just helping out, getting people dressed. And from there, I did that for a couple of, years. I would say years, because I did it consecutively, maybe like 2 years. I did that, just trying to get, my feet wet in that field, working in the back of the house. And from there, what started doing different shows, not just one particular show. I wanted to try and style people. Um, mm, I'm trying to think of like a couple of shows I did. I did like Charlotte. I've done um, uh, so many other ones that I can't think of. But I started there first. That's really how, you know, balance. Because I was just helping.
Okay, okay. So, who are some designers that have influenced you, or fashion stylists that have influenced you along the way?
Um, well, the one I can think of, like off the top of my head, is Stacey. Stacey London and Clinton from that show that used to be on TV, What Not to Wear. They was my first, like I would say, personal inspiration as in styling people in general because they do what I do, personal style. So I started from I like them, and I like Jennifer Lopez, wardrobe stylist as well. Tracy Ross. I don't know their names, their stylist names, but I know, they work. So I like Jay Bowman. Somebody called me, but I like Jay Bowman as well. He's really good. So those are my top ones that I really like looking at their work, and I know they're steady.
Okay, okay. So, how do you tend to stay updated with trends in the fashion industry? Because, as I know, as we both know, being in the fashion world, trends are always changing. So, how do you stay up to date? I know for me, I go through a lot of fashion magazines. I'm always looking through different eras and decades of style.
Mm-hmm. Um, I think with me, mm, I look at Pinterest a lot, to try to keep update. But to be honest, I tell people based off. I don't try to really look at trends like that, but I try to look like what's fashion forward per se. I don't think I really pay
Yes,
attention to what everybody else is wearing because I think that's what makes you unique and stand out is not looking at other people.
absolutely. Individuality and developing your own style sense through what brings and captures the eye.
Mm,
And that's what I love. I know for me, I love avant-garde. I love haute couture, which is like, for me, I'm obsessed with all things Terry Mugler. I love
mm.
Oscar de la Renta. I love Valentino. Those are just a few of my favorite fashion designers. But for you, who are a few of your favorites? Who do you like so far?
I like Vermont. I like Vermont. Um, I like uh, Coach stuff. I like Balenciaga too.
And these are innovative designers. Like I know you've seen the underground show for Balenciaga. I'm like, why would they have an underground and all the mud and things? This was
Uh,
last season collection. So yeah, that one sparked a little bit of controversy. And then Beyonce teamed up with Balmain to do her collection for
mm,
Renaissance,
I
which is
seen that.
absolutely stunning and out of this world. So if you guys like avant-garde or couture fashion, definitely check that out. So what skills have you learned along the way being an award winning fashion stylist? Because your work has been published in magazines, and that's a big go to. So, what does that mean for you?
Um, well, to be recognized in that way, it means a lot to me because that's you don't do it for the accolades and for the prize or anything like that. You do it for the people, and you do it because it, it's a skill set. And I think for me, I don't know. I don't do it for those reasons. Though. I do it because I care about how people look, and I feel like you can change somebody's perception based off style. And I think I've done that a lot with more so being persuasive and directing them into another realm of fashion, because sometimes people just, like, for instance, I have on this black shirt, but a person can always wear black, and that's the only thing they wear. There's nothing wrong with that, but can we just try a little color or this and that? And I think, too, what has helped me, I think it's because I don't try to be like other people, other stylists, or what other stylists are doing, because I think that's what makes you separate. And that's why I feel like you get those type of accolades and stuff, because people see that you are different.
And that's what's important. Now, how you've mentioned, you try not to be like everybody else, and I'm the same way too. How would you define your personal style?
My personal style, I feel like it varies. Like, I think it just varies from, really, honestly, how I feel. I don't think it's one particular style. I think that I'm not afraid to try stuff, and that's really me. I'm not afraid to mix patterns or put colors together. Now, I do know what colors don't work for me, and I know what colors do work for me. So I think I just try anything. I mean, but I think everybody should be like that when it comes down to fashion. Because how do you supposed to know unless you try it?
And you never know unless you try it. Even for me, getting into fashion, stepping outside of the boundaries, trying different things that I've never tried. Because I remember at one point in my life, I would not wear red. For some reason, I hated the color red. But I would always dabble into black and blues and gray. My mom's like, that's the only colors you wear. But now, getting into fashion, I've learned to step outside of my boundaries and try different colors. Like, as you guys see, I'm wearing pink today. I don't know if you guys can see the rose petals on my dress, but I wanted to do something a little bit different and daring. And being in fashion, you have to be daring and take risks and try different things. So my mom, she sort of brought me out of that shell into wearing different colors, like, okay, your neutral tones, your flesh tones, like your camel and suede, and colors like that. And then my bright colors as my pinks and the blues and the lilacs and the yellows. Like, those are the colors that I would mainly go to for spring. And then the summer is just going to get brighter and brighter. So when you're in the fall, winter months is going to do the complete opposite, 360 where you're dark. So I definitely can relate to that.
I love the pink. I love the pink outfit you got going on right there.
Thank you. I wore it just for you. I said, if I'm going to do this interview, I am going to have to bring my A game, because I went and I browsed your Instagram and I said, oh my God, it is like Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, all in one. Like, all of these looks that you put together are beautiful, especially the coral colored one you did, and then the emerald green where the model, she's kind of had her back turned. It was beautiful. Like, I would definitely wear colors like that. Before, I would not wear green or red or any of those colors, but now that I've gained experience in fashion and being in this fashion world, you got to take risks. You never know unless you try. So that's what I love about it. Now, my next question for you is, there's so much going on in the fashion world. We're seeing a shift with so many Black designers and Black stylists where they are now getting recognition. And I just had this conversation not too long ago with someone that I had on my platform about how we can be inclusive. How do you feel about the shift that is happening in the fashion world where Black stylists and Black designers are now getting recognition? Because we know how anti-Black the fashion industry is. And if you go and you look at shows and things like the Met Gala, where there is a problem with Black designers showing up and showing out. Like La Roche, and we all know La Roche has called it out. He styles Zendaya, he did Celine Dion, he did so many of the greats in the industry. Talked about the lack of diversity in the fashion world. My question for you is, what are your thoughts? Because you've also been kind of vocal about that as well.
Well, let me just start off by saying I think it's a great thing that she's speaking out about what goes on in the industry, because oftentimes being a stylist, that's one of the key components, if not the most important component, when you're putting someone together, whether they're famous or not. So oftentimes they get left in the dark because or not get the recognition they deserve because maybe they're not popular or this or that or whatever. But I think it's good in this time for people to be recognized for their talent, their gift, because it's a gift when you're styling someone, especially because, like I've always tell people, you can't style everybody the same. So it takes a special type of person to style someone different every time. So I think we need more stylists out here, in different cities and to get the recognition because I know personally, I know a lot of talented stylists who don't get the recognition that I feel like they deserve and designers. So I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad he's speaking up and speaking out because it's important that because I love him. I know that he styles, like you said, he styles Isaiah, Celine Dion. He styled a couple of people that I've seen him do, and I just like his aura and how he is, and but I think it's unfortunate that he felt like he had to leave the industry because he was so talented. I hope he do come back, and start back styling. But being a stylist can be, it could be a lot. So I definitely understand him leaving. I mean, I don't took many breaks throughout my, career and, wanting to give up and stuff like that. So I definitely understand because you're not getting the recognition that you feel like you deserve, or you're not getting the opportunity, or you have to do this and, do that to get this opportunity. And for me, styling is always, it's about the people. It's about the people, and you got to figure out your why. Why did you get in the industry in the first place? And I think if, not speaking for him, but I think if he goes back to the beginning of why he started it, maybe he will come back because that's always going to bring me back to why I started doing it.
And it's so sad that us as people of color in the fashion world do not get recognized. And I'm going to tell you guys a story for all of you who are out there watching. You guys know Jackie Kennedy Onassis, President Kennedy, his wife. A black woman designed her gown for inauguration. And back then, they would not recognize her as Anne. The designer's name was Anne. But a colored woman designed the gown. So it just goes to show you how far fashion designers that are of color and stylists that are of color in this industry that is so anti-black have come. And we're still working to get where we're at. The lack of recognition is what gets me. And I've called it out on several occasions where it's just like, okay, you get invited to these prestigious events, yes. But I've heard artists that have spoken up behind the scenes, actresses, singers who've spoken up behind the scenes and says, well, this isn't right. This is what should be happening with my designer or my stylist. And we're now seeing them call it to the forefront of the table where everyone gets a seat at the table. From the hair, the makeup, the wardrobe, everyone, the designer as well too. They should all, especially if their whole team is black, because I'm seeing a lot of these actresses, these starlets are now hiring, the entire team is black. And it's just like, it's sad that they're not getting the recognition that they so gratefully deserve. We have a long way to go. Right.
Or the pay they deserve. They got the writers thing going on now in the acting world. So I just, stylists is, stylists are very unappreciated. Not them. The people take styling for granted with the not wanting to pay them or give them the the recognition, or not getting them that platform that you can give somebody else. But I think, like I said, a stylist is a very important part of a puzzle, because you need them. Without them, you won't have no clothes.
Exactly. And your team is who helps you get ready. I know I have a team here behind me. Shout outs to Melody, my makeup. And of course, balancing that out, having to do everything behind the scenes. It's a lot, especially when you're working on your own as a content creator, as an artist, as whoever. You have a team behind you backing you and helping you, but you still give them credit. And I make sure that I tag everyone, every look that I posted, I make sure that I give the stylist or the designer credit. And that's what should be done. Each one teach one, and the next one teaches the next one, and the next one teaches the next one in this business in order to keep it flourishing. Because we know how anti-Black. I've heard horrible stories about. If you guys know and you're watching the platform, you know. I've heard horrible stories, and I never really wanted to touch on this, about Vogue magazine and what goes on behind the scenes with the double, let's say the double wears Prada herself. I've heard horrible stories about writers, stylists that are of color. And I'm not going to blow the whistle on it because that's not my place, but I'm just going to call out what I see. And I see it. I've heard stories, and I've read these stories, and I'm just like, wow, this definitely has to be true. And now this individual wants to take to banning people from the Met Gala, closing the door on Black creators and designers, where it's very limitability. And that's all I'm going to say. If you know, you know, you can read between the lines. The double wears Prada herself. Hi, Lamar. Welcome, welcome. So we have to create more of these outlets. So I'm thankful for outlets like Madame Noir, which posts fashion. It's another one right here on the gram that posts fashion as well too. So they're Black-owned publications, like Essence Magazine has been around for years. Essence Magazine has always showcased Black fashion designers, Black beauty, Black stylists. And if you go and look at the issues, they've always given recognition to each and every one of their team members and staff. There's been no horrible stories that I know of about Essence, but Vogue, I've heard horrible stories about things that go on with Black writers and creators behind the scenes. So it just goes to show you how anti-Black the fashion industry is.
I try to work with the team I do work with, all of them. I mean, you know, I try to be inclusive, but who I work with on their day-to-day basis, that all of them are Black, because I feel like oftentimes, like we said, a lot of people that, you know, that are Black, they don't get the credit or the recognition that they deserve, and they're so talented. So that's always important to me when I'm thinking about who I'm going to work with.
Absolutely. So I'm going to get off the heavy thing. I think I said too much, but it needed to be said. Because, I mean, when people speak out about it, they're afraid, oh, well, I'm going to lose my position. No, if you see unfair and unjust treatment in this industry, the fashion industry, because it's very cutthroat. It's like everybody's climbing to try to get to the top. And it's just like there's enough room for everybody to shine. And even my father even kind of told me, because I remember when I wanted to be a fashion designer, and I still have my sketches lying around somewhere. I'm sketched a little bit here and there. But he said, if you're going to get into this business, there's so much competition because there's so many designers. You know, you'll be in competition with the likes of Vera Wang, as you mentioned, Balmain, Olivier Rousteing, Terry Mugler. Like, it's so many fashion designers. And my assistant principal, I give her credit for that because she put me on to all of the fashion designers that there is out here in the world. So much. So, yes, it's a dog-eat-dog industry. You have to have a thick skin to be in this business. Model, designer, stylist. Because you're going to have so many people that are going to try to come at you, especially if you are a person that is a person of color.
Yeah.
So,
I definitely
be ready for the challenges and obstacles.
Yeah, I done had many.
It's not easy. I've sat with a lot of designers and stylists. Rico LaChapelle, House of Chappelle, in Atlanta, who's a fabulous designer. He's designed for some of the housewives, and he's talked about the lack of diversity and how we need to support Black fashion designers out there. Jerry Reed is another one, New York. So I've sat with just a few, even models that have walked the catwalks from Paris to Milan, New York, all over the world. And it's amazing hearing all of these stories of what we can do to move this fashion industry forward. Yeah, it takes a lot. So, inspiration-wise, now, we're talking working as a stylist in this business. who are some of your dream collaborations? Who would you like to work with in the future or dress?
I would say more. Well, I don't really have a famous person, because there has never been a goal of mine, to dress
Yeah.
celebrities or anything like that. I personally, I like regular people, you know. But I think more actors and actors, actors and actresses. I want to get in film and television. I have some things going on right now that I'm trying to work on with that. So yeah, I want to do like a movie, like a style somebody through a television company or something like that.
Okay, I could definitely see that in the future, you behind the scenes, because they do need key wardrobe stylists on set. I know when they was taping Empire in was Chicago, I've interviewed some actors that have done the show Empire and how the wardrobe changes, especially for Taraji's character, because every season she had a different look. The style would always be elevated and ahead of its
Yeah.
time. And people be like, oh my God, who is she wearing? And then the next thing you know, there's so many blogs out here that will get the deets on, okay, she wore this, she wore this, she wore this. So make sure you guys are following those pages, because you never know. It's a lot of new shows that are going to be coming out, especially during the summer. And Beyonce just went on tour. People are talking about her look. She wore so many custom-made designs and details throughout her concert. Like, it's amazing. And
Yeah.
there's definitely stylists. Shout outs to all of the stylists out here that are doing their thing. You too, DQ, for this summer, because it's going to be a lot of. I was just talking to my girlfriend on the phone not too long ago, and she says, girl, we got to go to the Strength of a Woman Festival, because Mary J. Blige had a lot of performances over the weekend. As you guys can see, they're out there on YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of singers and artists that are going to be needing to be styled for these festivals and concerts that are coming. So you guys be on the lookout on what's in the know for what's going to be in for this season for the summer, because it's going to be hot, as I said in the beginning of the show. All right. So, do you guys have any questions before we get into our games? Now, throughout the games, you guys can type your questions for myself or DQ. We are talking all things style here with award-winning stylist DQ Stylist. So the first game we're going to call is Thread This or That. So I'm going to give DQ two fashion designers, and you have to give me one word. A few fashion designers, and you have to give me one word to describe each one. All right? And then the next one is called the Rapid Five. And he has to tell me the top 5 things that he has in his bag. It can be, okay, your phone. It can be anything that you like to take on the go with you, because I'm pretty sure for all of us being fashionistas in here and style influencers, we have a lot that we keep in our bag while we're on the go. So we're going to do Thread This or That. All right? So the first designer that I'm going to start off with is Olivier Rousteing for Balmain.
I definitely keep that. Definitely. I like Balmain. I like Balmain.
I love Balmain's too. And how he takes different eras of fashion. I don't know if you've seen the collection he did for New York Fashion Week last season, but the shoulders were very exaggerated. He took inspiration from the 80s. Not only did he did it, Olivier, but Saint Laurent did the same thing, and that is going to be the next designer for you, Saint Laurent. Yes.
Saint Laurent. I've seen a lot of Saint Laurent stuff. I like Saint Laurent. Yeah.
Okay. Next designer is Sergio Hudson.
You don't gotta keep that one.
Okay. The next designer would be Christopher John Rogers.
That's that one.
Okay. The next designer would be Christian Dior.
that one.
Okay. Okay. Next designer would be Vera Wang.
Definitely keep that one.
Okay.
I like
Okay.
I like their own.
The next designer, and I absolutely love some of his designs. The dress that I'm wearing today is actually inspired by some of his pieces. Christian Siriano.
Keep that 100%.
Definitely.
I love him. I love how he styles people. Like he's so short, but his talent is huge.
And what I love about Christian Siriano is that he is inclusive in all of his size. A lot of these designers are saying, no, the models are not petite and tall and thin. They are curvy. I'm a curvy woman, as you guys can see from the photos. Yes, I have a lot of, as J-Lo would say, booty. So, but it's difficult. I make it vary. When you have a woman that has different proportions, you have to know how to camouflage and make everything work on her body. And it's all about working those angles. So that's what I love about these designers is that they are all inclusive with their fashions. And we're seeing the shift in all designers. Take that plunge and say, okay, it's not just one size. Beauty is not just one size, but it's other sizes too. All right. So that is thread this or that, fashion dolls. And the next game we're going to get into is the rapid five. Now, DQ has to tell us 5 things that is in his on-the-go bag. And I know for me, what's in my on-the-go bag when I'm on the go would have to be sunscreen, lots of sunscreen, because we have to protect our melanin during this summer heat that we're going through. Lip gloss, of course, because I definitely believe in beautiful, just glowy, dewy skin and luscious lips. That is a plus for me. So those are just a few things that are in my bag. Now, what are the top 5 things that you take with you when you're on the go?
Well, my phone, number one.
Okay.
Wallet. Hand sanitizer.
Definitely.
Safety pins. And the last thing is like some lotion or shea butter or something.
Because that sanitizer dries your hair right out. I know personally, because I'm always sanitizing. Ever since this thing hit, I'm just like, oh my God, I find myself washing my hands a lot and using sanitizers. And it can be drying to your hands. So that is definitely an A plus because I keep it in my bag too. I keep a hand lotion or a hand cream in there also too. So those are the top 5 things that are in DQ Styles' bag, ladies and gentlemen. So do we have any questions for DQ Styles? Well, my question while you guys are typing in, because I see you guys are joining me, is what are you expecting for the summer style trends wise? Because I'm expecting to see a lot of cutouts. I'm expecting to see a lot of slits. I'm expecting to see a lot of off the shoulder. My mom gets on me about that all the time. She was like, girl, why are you wearing all these off the shoulders dress? Because I'm like, it's hot and I love them. I love the cold shoulder look. So what are some fashion key staples are you expecting for this spring summer 2023?
Definitely more color blocking. People. I just did color blocking that I wore personally yesterday. So, yeah, actually, so my story. Yeah. I definitely mixed patterns. That's the mixed pattern thing. I think people really got to start getting into that because I love it personally. I love the mixed patterns. The off the shoulder dresses, showing the neckline. So I think those are some more, and people not being afraid when it comes down to fashion. Don't be scared to be outside the box. That is what makes you stand out. Being outside of the box. So I definitely think high fashion. I love the shoulder pad look. I style
Over exaggerated shoulders. Yes.
recently in shoulder pads. So I love it.
And a lot of those looks are coming back. Like if you go into the 80s, it was all about the drama. I have a guy friend, he's every time I text him a picture of what I'm wearing, each interview, each show, he's just like, oh my God, you're bringing the drama. I would have never expected you to wear anything like that. So to have some men critique your fashion is just amazing. He's just like, you always bring the drama. And in the 80s, it was all about the over-teased hair. It was all about the flush color on the cheekbones all the way up to the eye. Like, one of my style muses is Grace Jones, and I absolutely adore her because of how she took fashion and just went above and beyond approach and didn't care. So before we had Rihanna go over the top and be our fashion bad girl, Grace Jones was our fashion bad girl. She didn't care. If you go back and you look at some of her looks in Studio 54, it was Michael Jackson, it was Liz Taylor, it was Cher, Janet Jackson, all of them. If you go back, Diana Ross, if you go back in time and look at some of their fashions, it was all about over-exaggerated shoulder or shoulder pad or sequins. A lot of that you can see during the spring, summer months, especially with knit. Now, I know you guys like, knit? You wouldn't wear knit during the spring, summer months, but there's a way you can do it. There are lightweight knit prints and fabrics out here. You don't have to get the knit where it's just like you would wear in the wintertime, but find a nice dress and kind of layer it with the knit. So, I mean, there's so many different ways that you can do it. Yeah. And go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that straight there. You were just saying you know who you like. Mine has always been three main people. Like it never changed. There's Jennifer Lopez, Tracy Ellis Ross, and Lupita Nyong'o.
I love Lupita. Now, you mentioned the woman that I love because she's chocolate, just like me. She's a chocolate girl. And us chocolate girls who get the thing, well, oh, you can't wear certain colors on your skin tone. It wouldn't look right. But I bought a dress offline, and it was a colorful dress. And I wore it, and everybody was talking about, oh, my God, look at how it looks on your skin tone versus how it looks on the model who's a non-black model. So the model that was wearing it was white, of course. But then when I put it on, they said, oh, my God, you brought it to life. So when us chocolate girls or melanated people, we put a color on our skin, we bring it to life, especially colors like yellow or blue or red or green. She's done it all.
Yeah.
Every red carpet look has been covered.
It was like the thing that stands out in my mind now, the night she won the Oscars, and I think she went to the Oscars again when she had on this cape look. I think it was red.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The
blue one.
My favorite.
And you've mentioned J-Lo. J-Lo's look at the Met Gala this year, the Ralph Lauren look. All I'm going to say is stay tuned.
Yeah.
Because for this season 17, beautiful. Beautiful. I seen it and I said, okay. So you already know what I'm thinking, fashion dolls.
J-Lo has always been like a staple, when it comes down to fashion. Because even though I like people who don't necessarily need the stylist, but they have one. Like J-Lo, I've seen J-Lo like on the street wearing fashionable stuff without a stylist, something that she put together. And the same thing with Tracy Ellis Ross. I love Tracy Ellis Ross as she dresses, how she carries herself in general. But her fashion, like I can only imagine how her closet looks because her fashion is top 10.
Now, a little FYI, if you guys didn't know, you guys know that her mom is Diana Ross. So in an interview that she did, she said she steals a couple of her mom's pieces because Diana Ross had the most. If you guys go back and watch the film Mahogany, which is one of my favorite films, her character, Tracy Chambers, always had a different look. So that's the movie. If you guys like fashion, check out Diana Ross in Mahogany. And you guys will see where Tracy Ellis Ross got that fashion sense from. So shout outs to her stylist, Carla Welch, because every event that Tracy has been to, whether it's promoting her hair product line, pattern, which is out everywhere, you guys can check her out in the ads. She's always on point. And it's always colorful. All the way to Girlfriends, you see the style. It's been there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been there. I love when she wears the red bottoms, the boots. She mixed animal with maybe like a color. Like, I just love everything about her aesthetic when it comes down to fashion, because she gets it and she's not afraid to stand out, different from everybody.
Yes, and that's what it takes to be in fashion. Don't be afraid to stand out or be daring. Some people don't have the confidence, the amount of confidence that we have, but it's all about developing it up over time. It doesn't just come overnight like that, but it takes time to be able to step into your own and try different colors with fashion or style or different looks. Another one of my influences will have to be Victoria Beckham. I love how elegant and classy and sophisticated she is. She can put on a pencil skirt, an A-line skirt, and a blouse and make it her own. Her collection is very minimalistic and straight to the point. And I remember I wore one of her pieces on the show. It's this orange, beautiful dress that's got like these ribbed cutouts on the side. I have to dig in the archives and find that picture. And it's just like the dress that I'm wearing today. But my arms were all the way out. And I said, okay, this is Victoria Beckham. If you're going to do this. Go all the way.
Yeah.
So I did it, and I loved it. I still have that dress. I still can fit into that dress. So her pieces, if you are a minimalist and you like minimal style, I would definitely go and look at some of Victoria Beckham's pieces, because she loves color blocking as well too. So those are some of the things that she's
bob. She used to wear
this bob. And then she'll put it with a pair of shades. Like, I read her book, That Extra Half an Inch, and she says that less is more. So I've learned, even for me, not to accessorize, but over-accessorize, but certain outfits. So that's why you guys see me wear the earrings, and you see me wear a ring, but not a whole lot with the dress, because the dress speaks for itself. That's the main key accessory when it comes. Yeah, I was debating on whether I was going to put a choker with this dress. And I said, no, less is more. So all you need is your earrings and your rings, your key essential pieces. Miss Stevie, you always look amazing. I love your style. Thank you. And I have to give credit to those women. And flipping through a lot of fashion magazines, Victoria Beckham is one of my style influences. Grace Jones, of course, Beyonce. It's the sensuality for me. Beyonce has given it all to us in the Renaissance tour over the weekend. So I pull a lot of inspiration from these three women and Rihanna. Rihanna's like the fashion bad girl. And I say that because she shows up on the red carpet when she wants to. Like at the Grammys 2015, the big pink Giambattista Valley number that she wore. She showed up very last to the red carpet. And she was like, I'm going to show up on my own terms. Everybody was like, well, where's Rihanna? And she showed up, barely makeup, beautiful, fresh, clean face, and the gown spoke for itself. And it was the time of the night. Yes, that was it. The 2015 Grammys. And she said, And then she did it again for the Oscars. She skipped the red carpet and went straight to her Oscars performance and looked absolutely beautiful. And this was she was performing the song she did for Black Panther. So she skipped the red carpet. So Rihanna's like your fashion bad girl. She's just like, okay, I'm going to show up to the red carpet when I want to. I'm going to be the last on the red carpet. Cardi B is the same way. She's another one of my style influences.
She gets it right every time when it comes down to fashion. Yes. Rihanna, especially with the Met Ball, because sometimes those people don't be getting the theme right, I be looking, I'm like, now wait a minute. Now I don't think this means that, but okay. But Rihanna, she gets it right every time. It's just certain ones. Rihanna, Zendaya, Tracy Ross, Jennifer Lopez. It's just a Beyonce. Certain ones just get it right. When they go to the Met Ball, they gonna give you fashion.
And Cardi B as well too. I'd have to give it up to Cardi B and her stylist Carlin, because every red carpet that she's did, because 2020 it was the camp theme, and then you have the gilded glamour. A lot of people struggle with the gilded glamour theme, because it's just like, okay, you're saying different periods of fashion, but we're going all the way back to the early 1920s, 1930s with the over exaggerated bottoms and corsets. And then this year's theme was a line of beauty, Karl Lagerfeld. We know that Chanel was known for the camellia flower. So you're seeing a lot of people hit the mark and execute it perfectly.
Yeah.
And then you see some people just like, why would you wear this? And then when they went to the after party, it's just like, that's the look you should have worn on the red carpet. You got it. So, yeah. Definitely. That is fine. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was just agreeing with what you were saying, because I've seen that people do that a lot. You know.
Yes. The Met Gala is when you're supposed to go over the top and just over and above and beyond. You just let the drama and creativity flow. The Grammys is when you're more so like, okay, what do you want me to do? I'm here. I'm going to look beautiful for my performance, and I'm going to make my carpet appearance as well too. Red carpet appearance as well too. So that's what the Grammys is about. But the Met Gala is the biggest fashion event. That's a big deal in the fashion. So you got to bring it above and beyond. And these women that DQ has mentioned, from Beyonce to J-Lo to Rihanna to, as you mentioned, Cardi B, all of them have, Tracy Ellis Ross, they've all executed everything perfectly.
Yeah.
And hit the mark. So that is that, Fashion Dolls. Do we have any questions for myself or DQ? Just going back through a line in time of fashion and the different eras, the different decades, because it's so many, and a lot of these looks, history repeats itself. So I go to Pinterest, I order a lot of, in bulk, a lot of fashion magazines like Cosmopolitan. I get my Vogues, I get my Harper's Bazaar, and I flip through, and my mom knows more about the fashion looks than I do. She was like, this was out before you was even born. How do you know about this? I said, a lot of designers are starting to take inspiration from this and now recreate some of these looks. Like Sergio Hudson, for example, took inspiration from the 80s and the 90s. And he referred to Hillary, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, because she was a style muse. That was inspiration for his collection for last year's season. So if you guys go back in time, you'll see the bright colors, you'll see the graphics. It was a lot that he had throughout his entire collection. Christopher John Rogers, elegance, pure glamour, and sophistication. Like, he used a lot of latex, like that shiny leather, latex type leather in his collection, and he did it with the gloves as well as some of the gowns. And I'm just like, wow, this is definitely something we would do on the runways in Paris, because Paris Fashion Week, you also raise the bar and go above and beyond. Street style too, like, people just didn't care. They said, I'm going to bring my creativity to the show. So that's what it's about. That's what people are looking for.
Yeah.
All right. Fashion Dolls, if we don't have any questions, what can we expect from you in the future, DQ? Because I see so much from you. You're already an amazing fashion stylist, and you've done so many looks, so many covers, so many photo shoots. What is something that people can expect from you in the future?
More work, more projects. I have a lot of projects I'm doing this month and next month, and I have some an award ceremony in a couple of, on the 27th. I got nominated for Wardrobe Stylist of the Year.
Look at that.
Thank you. So that just doing, and like I said, I'm starting some shooting some projects for some actors, and yeah, I'm just trying to keep doing what I'm doing and keep being consistent and keep being a positive light to the world of fashion.
And we're going to keep following behind you 100%. We support you here on my platform. You're an amazing stylist, and I'm honored that I got to speak with you. This has been longly waited. We planned this back in January, and now to see it happen and come full circle is amazing. So congratulations to you. And Lamar said in the comments, congrats to you. Much more in your endeavors to come. I can't wait. All right, Fashion Dolls. Before we let you guys go, you guys know that I always leave you with food for thought. So today's food for thought comes from Issa Rae. Issa Rae says this: I thrive on obstacles. If I'm told that I can't be told, then I pushed harder. And that is from Issa Rae. So through all of your obstacles, through anything that you are going through in life, remember that it gets better. You keep working hard and pursuing whatever it is that sets your soul on fire. So that is the message that she's trying to put out here, Issa Rae. Shout out to her, amazing film producer and actress. She is everything. So make sure you guys go and follow DQ Styles. Let everyone know where they can follow you and check out your amazing work.
You can follow me at Stylesbydq on Instagram. My Facebook is DQ Styles. Also, my website is www.stylesbydq.com.
All right, Fashion Dolls. And you guys, be sure to support Black fashion stylists. Be sure to support Black fashion designers, all of these Black-owned businesses, because there's so many out there. And when the pandemic first hit, a lot of people and I hate that it took for that to happen, for people to showcase their creativity. But go and support Black designers. There's so many out here. You will be surprised. It's so many. Stylists and all. Go and support them. Definitely. Thursday, joining me, we have actress Shauna Johnson for some girl talk. So make sure you guys tune in Thursday. And then Friday, we're going to be talking spring fragrances with our girl, Tina Marie. And also the Bath & Body Works semi-annual sale. You will get deets on that Friday as well, too. So make sure you guys are staying tuned throughout the week. I'm super excited to see what is to come this week. And DQ, thank you for just taking a minute of your time and coming into the dollhouse and dishing on your upcoming projects. I had such a great time.
I did too, and I definitely appreciate you letting me be on your platform, and I'm definitely grateful and thankful, and I can't wait to do it with you again.
And I definitely would love to talk with you again in the future. You definitely got to keep in touch, because fall will be here before you know it. After the summer, you have winter and then fall. Yeah. So you definitely will be circling back around. And I'll get in touch with you on the beats on that. Because I'm pretty sure you'll have a lot coming in for the fall, winter months.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
You are so welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, DQ Styles, make sure you guys go and follow DQ's channel. Go and support his business. Go and support and check out all of the looks. Definitely, it's beautiful content, beautiful fashions, beautiful everything. It's like a whole fashion magazine, his feet. So please go and check it out. And shout outs to each and every one of you for tuning in and supporting the platform. Thank you all, and head on over and subscribe to Style by Stevie Daytime on YouTube. You guys can check out the full interview there. And the interview will be uploaded here on IGTV, so you guys can go back and catch it in case you missed it. So we will see you guys Thursday. No show tomorrow. Hopefully Wednesday. King will be joining me. If not Wednesday, then we'll go straight to Thursday with our girl, Shauna Johnson. I love you all, Fashion Dogs. Take care and be blessed and stay cool, because it is hot. It's like 83 down here. So you guys, make sure that you guys stay cool. Love you all. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Take